Augury. The art of foretelling the future by means of various things, an omen from which the future if foretold auspicious, related to positive and favorable circumstances, marked by success and prosperity. Austere. Stern in terms of character or disposition, strict or severe in discipline, lacking adornment or decoration, autonomous, not controlled by other individuals or organizations, independent in mind and judgment. Avatar. The animal or human incarnation of a Hindu deity, particularly Vishnu, an embodiment of a quality or concept, a temporary manifestation of an ongoing entity. Aver. To officially assert as a fact, to justify, qualify or prove. Avouch. To attest to or declare the validity of, to confirm, to accept responsibility for an action, to confess. Avow. To openly acknowledge, to positive and undoubtedly profess. Axiom. A universally recognized truth, a seemingly self-evident principle. Baffle. To frustrate someone by perplexing or confusing them, to impede the force or movement of. Baleful. Harmful, threatening or deadly. Baneful. Causing distress, death or ruin. Barrage. A prolonged attack of words or blows, a curtain of artillery fire to prevent enemy forces from moving or to make way for one's own forces, a man-made barrier in a stream or river. Batten. A sawed strip of wood or flooring, to fasten canvas over the hatches, especially in preparation for a storm, to grow fat. Bauble. A decorative or showy but worthless object. Beguile. To mislead by trickery or deception. Beholden. Obliged to feel grateful for or owing thanks. Beleaguer. To besiege by encircling, to harass or beset with difficulties. Belittle. To make someone feel little or less important, to slight someone. Benevolent. Doing or intending to do good. Benison. A benediction. Berate. To severely rebuke or scold, to criticize, slate. Bestial. Beast-like in behavior, brutish. Biennial. Occurring every 2 years, lasting or living for 2 years. Billingsgate. Abuse, foul or vulgar language. Bivouac. A temporary encampment exposed out in the open with only tents or little shelter. Blandish. To flatter, coax or persuade blasphemous, irreverent or profane, particularly in relation to a religious subject. Bleak. Unsheltered and exposed to wind and cold, cold, cutting and harsh, gloomy, not hopeful. Bold. To predict or announce in advance. Bogus. Not veritable or genuine. Boorish. Rude, awkward, ill-mannered. Bootless. Useless, without benefit. Brackish. Somewhat salty, as might be the waters near a sea, having a displeasing taste, nauseous. Breach. A failure to follow through on or complete the agreement and terms of a contract or law. An opening created by breakthrough, a break in amicable relations. Bristle. Any short, stiff or prickly hair of an animal or plant to become stiff and erect, to show anger, irritation or outrage, to be thickly covered with. Brusque. Abrupt and rough use of language or manner of speech. Bumptious. Arrogant, excessively conceited, forward. Burlesque. Any comic or satirical imitation in the form of writing, theater or a parody, intending to mock body. Burnish. To polish or to make shiny. Cabal. A group of plotters or intriguers with conspiratorial intentions, a secret scheme or plot. Cache. A hiding place, especially in the ground for ammunition, food or treasures, anything so hidden, to put in a cache. Caliber. Degree of capacity or competence. Calumniate. To make false and malicious statements about. Candor. The state or quality of being open, honest, straightforward, open and sincere in communication, freedom from bias. Canter. An easy-going gallop, to move or ride at a canter. Capitulate. To surrender, often after negotiation of terms. Captious. Characterized by a disposition to find out and point trivial faults, intended to entrap or confuse. Carnage. The slaughter of numerous people, those slain in battle. Carping. Characterized by trivial fault-finding. Caste. Any of the social or subclasses of traditional Hindu society, such as the Brahmin or Sudra castes, a social class distinct from others and characterized by hereditary rank, profession or wealth, a social position conferred on someone based on a system of castes. Cataclysm. Any violent upheaval, particularly of a political or social nature, an extensive flood. Catalyst. A substance that causes a chemical reaction without itself being affected, a person or thing that brings about or precipitates change, a person or event that precipitates a process or change. Cathartic. Physically or emotionally purging in nature, therapeutic. Catholic. Of or pertaining to the Catholic Church, a member of the Catholic Church, of a broad, liberal or comprehensive scope. Cavil. To raise trivial objections, a trivial or annoying objection. Celibate. One who abstains from sexual relations with others, an individual who remains unmarried. Centrifugal. Moving or directed outward from the center, a rotating, perforated drum that holds materials to be separated in a machine. Centripetal. Moving or directed toward an axis or center, tending or directed toward centralization. Cessation. A temporary discontinuance. Chameleon. Any of the Old World lizards which can change color, a changeable or inconstant person. Charlatan. A person who pretends to have more knowledge or skill than he or she actually possesses, a con artist or fake. Cherry. Cautious or careful, fastidious, sparing. Chastise. To criticize severely, to discipline through corporal punishment. Chide. To express disapproval of, to harass or reproach. Chimerical. Fantasy, unreal or imaginary, highly unrealistic. Chronic. Constant and habitual, lasting a long time, especially pertaining to a disease. Circuitous. Indirect or roundabout. Circumlocution. An indirect or roundabout way of speaking. Citadel. A fortress in a commanding position in or near a city, a fortified place. Claustrophobia. An excessive fear of being in closed or confined spaces. Clemency. A willingness to lessen the severity of a given punishment, an official act of mercy or forgiveness. Cliché. An overused expression or idea, a person whose behavior is predictable. Coalesce. To fuse, grow or mix together. Cogent. Believable, convincing or persuasive by clear and forcible presentation, to the point. Cognomen. A family or surname. Cohere. To hold together in a mass that resists separation, to cause to form a united, aesthetically uniform whole. Collaborate. To work together or cooperate, join forces. Colloquial. Characteristic of ordinary conversation rather than formal speech or writing. Comatose. Of, related to or in a coma, characterized by lethargy. Commensurate. Of the same extent or duration, corresponding in size or degree, proportionate, measurable by a common standard. Compatible. Capable of existing harmoniously, capable of integration with other elements in a system without any additional required modifications. Compendium. A complete, short summary, a list or collection of various items. Complement. Something that completes or makes something else whole, a quantity that completes anything, either of two parts needed to complete the whole. Compliment. An expression of praise to give someone praise or accolades. Compliant. Disposed or willing to comply. Conciliate. To overcome the mistrust of, to regain or attempt to regain friendship, to attempt to reconcile. Concomitant. Existing or occurring with something else. Congeal. To solidify or gel by freezing, coagulate. Conjecture. The expression of or formulation of a theory without sufficient evidence or proof, to guess or formulate a theory without sufficient evidence or proof. Connotation. An idea or meaning suggested or associated with a word or thing, the set of associations implied by a word in addition to its implicit meaning. Contentious. Tending to cause argument or strife, characterized by argument or controversy. Controvert. To be resistant to raise arguments against, to oppose. Contumacious. willfully obstinate or stubbornly disobedient, insubordinate. Conveyance. The act of conveying or transmission. Copious. Large in quantity or number, having or yielding a plentiful supply, exhibiting abundance. Corporeal. Of or relating to the body, of a material nature. Corpulent. Large or bulky in body. Countermand. To cancel or reverse an order or transmission previously issued, cancellation of an order or command. Cower. To cringe, crouch or curl up in fear, to show fear.